The following recordings of Eruch Jessawala were recorded in Mandali Hall at Meherzad, Ahmednagar, India. Meher Lahar wishes to thank Eruch for allowing us to record and publish these talks. In his first talk, recorded on August 23, 1980, Eruch discusses the humiliation of the Ancient One.
So we'll begin with something quite brand new, whatever comes to our mind and head and all that. But the topic was the same that we were discussing. It's about Baba one day telling me, and there were other Mandali members also here in Meherzad, about his humiliation. It was on the same day that he gave us the figure about the delay in breaking his silence, which I had told you all some days ago. He used to tell us about his humiliation every now and then, remind us through circulars and so forth. What we felt was, being in his close association, whenever he gave public darshan and took us out in the midst of tens of thousands of people, where he is seated and he is hailed, you may almost call that he is worshipped there as the Ancient One. So we felt that it was his glorification. And we were really delighted with the whole happy scene that was before us. How can I bring before you the fact that we led such a life of great seclusion with him? We did not know the world. We did not know the human mentality and their traits. And all of a sudden, when he would give mass darshan, that means being in the public, right in the midst of the crowd of tens of thousands of people, sea of humanity you may call it, and seated there in silence and being adored and worshipped as the Ancient One. Nobody went and told them about him. Some few of them had known about him, had come close to him, but what about the rest of humanity? How did they accept it? And there happened one occurrence, you see, which gave me a fright in that crowd there. One day we were in south of India, which is considered to be the stronghold of orthodoxy, where the Brahmins feel and consider themselves that they are of the highest class. And naturally, they wield great power. They also swing the emotions and faith and belief of humanity here in this country. When people face them, they are the religious head, you may call it. So, we once visited that place, which is the stronghold of orthodoxy, where Brahmins are. Soon after the Manonash phase in New Life, Baba was giving public darshan, called the mass darshan as it is known. There, of course, Baba is seated there, and we are surrounded by a sea of humanity all around us, and our dais where Baba was made to sit was in the center of that. It's impossible to escape from there if the mob fury were to go against us. Even the emotions, not adverse but favorable emotions, if the humanity is overpowered with that, and suppose if all want to go and hug and kiss Baba, what will happen to Baba? You see, such a precarious position we are in. And in the midst of all that, when they are giving him a very warm and hearty welcome in their city, and how blessed they are to have him there. We have got those welcome addresses and all that from strata of different communities and also professions and all that, where the municipal councillors come there, the corporators, the mayor, the bar association, and industrialists and political heads and leaders and all of them, different branches come there, and on the dais they read out their welcome address to Baba. And after that, Baba himself gets up from the dais there and gets down, you see, from the dais. Before doing that, he would address them saying that, remain seated. And I am going to bow down to you. Don't think that this bowing down is to you individually, but I bow down to your love for me in you. that will avoid all the delay in your approaching me physically. And so forth and so on. So you'll bow down to the mass of humanity and all that. All that is being done, and then a little message would be read out from Baba, very short message. There are different types of messages there. But I still remember one thing in that, in the whole episode of my life with Baba amongst the crowd. So what happened was that now Baba, that message is a written message that I had to read out on the public address, and then it gets translated into a variety of languages that are prevalent at the time, according to the district or the province or the state we are in. After this, Baba then extempore dictates on the board or with his sign gestures, and there he says, I think he was using the board, isn't it, Baba Sahib? Yeah, on the board he reads out, and I read out then loudly on the public address system. So, this is for the first time Baba has made it public this way. I am the same ancient one. So I say, Baba says, I am the same ancient one come in your midst once again. My message is of love. I have come now, this time in your midst, to do away with all rites, rituals and ceremonies. And I got so frightened, you see, saying, of course I said it because Baba dictated it, because I see all these people, you see, who are the stronghold, you see, where rites, rituals and ceremonies are prevalent there. Without that they can't do with this. And here with great authority he says this, and I shuddered after having said this. So Baba pulls my coat, you see, the little border of my coat, and says, don't get frightened. He gives me the comfort. I was so frightened at the time. Yeah, don't get frightened. So that was one of the instances where I recorded in my mind. And the reaction was a great, the pin drop silence, and at the same time acceptance of what they heard from him. Total acceptance everywhere. So what I am saying, drawing your attention to the fact is that what we were witnessing was his being glorified, you see. All that we find in the past advents, you see, of a small group of people, some little crowd there, once in a way, Jesus passing through the streets of Jerusalem, you see, and it was considered to be a great welcome there. It's mentioned in the scriptures, isn't it? Palm Sunday is celebrated because of that, remembered because of that. The great ovation and hailing him is there, and soon after there. So what happened is that we missed the point. I in my mind registered, well, this is what Baba was saying about the glorification. And all the humiliation was at the time when we were in new life, and how we were humiliated by the police who always interrogated us and mistook us to be bandits or mistook us to be political inciters and so forth. And there were many situations of that type. And Baba was humiliated in the railway carriage, you see. There are many good stories on that, and this and that. So it says, after humiliation, Baba says, my glorification will be there. So we have gone through the whole phases of new life and all that. Now this is the period of glorification. And we were very happy. Many of us mistook it for real glorification. And then when Baba would come and then he would inquire, so well, how was the day? He says, wonderful. Oh, it was a sight for the gods to witness and all that sort of thing, you see. So Baba would smile. And then once I said out that, Baba, it reminds me of what you had said about your glorification. So then he would tell me, this is no glorification. Wait, my humiliation has to be there. Only after my humiliation, there will be the breaking of my silence, there will be the manifestation and glorification. This is no glorification. All that enthusiasm, all that fine feeling, there's still no humiliation is there. My God, what will it be? What will it be? What sort of humiliation will it be and all that? So all the time it will be playing upon our minds about these humiliations. So when we'll go out, we'll keep a greater watch over the crowd, you see. My eyes would wander like that, you see. There is any stone coming from anywhere, any pie being thrown at Baba's face, any rotten eggs will be thrown. That sort of imagination I had about humiliation. A wrong conception of the humiliation of the great ancient one. Once in a while he had passed one remark which continued to just time and again come into my come into focus, you see. And what was that? He said, just on a stray occasion, nothing to do with glorification or manifestation or glorification, nothing of that sort. Just like that, you see. When reports would come sometimes about some of the closest ones having gone to a saint for his darshan, or just like Dr. Deshmukh, as I told you the other day, wanting to have a Brahmin guru instead of Zoroastrian ancient one, you see. Yeah. So it was like that. So he would hear this, and time and again such reports would come. So one day he said this, that he remembers a story, he says. He tells us, out of the blue, he tells us this, that he remembers a story, an incident. And he said that there was a woman who was being treated by law of the land as an adulteress and was kept in the market square to be put to death by the public. And the law of the land was that she was exposed to public gaze, and because of her adultery, people were duty-bound to throw a rock at her and kill her, shoes at her, throw something at her, strike her, any passerby that passes by. Each one to strike. Yeah, it takes long time. It depends upon what type of rock and what type of things that you throw at the person. So that was the law of the land at that time. So Baba says, I remember that. But in that, there was one lady who was being accused as the adulteress. And she had a daughter. And while naturally people were throwing rocks and shoes at her, and she never cried out, never screamed, never let anybody feel that she is being hurt by all these rocks. She stood there, radiant, beautiful as ever. Then what happened, coincidentally, her daughter was to pass by that. And she knew that her mother is there on that market square. And by law, she had to throw something at her. She had no heart to throw a piece of rock or an old shoe at her. So, but she had to throw something. So she thought that the best thing would be for my mother, that I'll throw a rose at her. So she went and purchased a rose, a rose from a florist. So she got that and she kept it in her pocket. And when she approached and was crossing, the market square there, and there she was. By law, she is duty bound. The people are there, the one who are supervising this whole operation. So what she took it out and she just threw the rose at her. And there was a loud shriek given out by that lady who was accused. And people wondered that she never shrieked when the rocks were thrown at her. She never said a single word when shoes were thrown at her. But somebody throws a rose at her, and who is that person? What sort of a force it must have been? So they found out that it was her own daughter. So he said, how the mother must have felt being accused by her own daughter, although she was innocent. How much more will I feel when mine own were to hurt me by even throwing a petal of a rose at me? So he said, how can it be possible? We don't understand that. What are you hinting at? If you, who are with me for so many years, were to, in your ambition to gather more blessings, or in your whatever way you would want to proceed further towards the truth, in your search and aspirations for truth, if you were to find an opportunity, though living with me, being with me, passing your years with me, if you were to go out and contact a saint with that object and with that motive, that I may gather something from him, gain his blessings, that will favor me to aspire more and more for truth or something like that, how would I feel? It is equivalent to that. A daughter hurting the mother with a rose. You are hurting me just with a petal of rose by your just going out there. But that hurt is as good as people flinging rocks at me. It is worse humiliation for me than for that woman who is accused of adultery. So such things, you see, he just remark and get impressions on our head, you see, on our minds, in our head, we'll have that. It was like that, and it just remained dormant all these years and all that. Then came a period, a real stretch of time, when time and again there will be reports coming that so-and-so has come up, you see, calling himself the master. So-and-so has come up who says that he is the avatar of the time. So-and-so says that he is the Balak Bhagwan, means the child God. A child calls himself God, and so forth. So the reports would come, many of his lovers would go there, and reports would come from group heads saying that so-and-so person, so-and-so family had gone there, now they are not attending, they are irregular in attending our center meetings and all that. So reports would come. But then we will feel so sad about it. We ourselves would feel sad because they were so close to us, those families. How can it be possible like that when Baba has given us so often he has given us to understand that he is the very root of all, the whole creation. He is at the very root of the creation. He is the ancient one. Once you have me, there is no need for you all to go even, let alone saints and yogis and musts and all that, not even to go to perfect masters, because I am the perfect master of the perfect masters. I am the eternal perfect master of all the perfect masters. Why? Why do you all do that? So he would just make us send out letters and all that. Well, that we will feel hurt and sad about it and all that. And so Baba said that this is no humiliation, although it hurts me, it makes me sad, it gives me pain, but it's no humiliation. Humiliation is still worse. And we couldn't follow it. We didn't know what it is. But after humiliation, He will raise again. He will raise our spirits. But there is nothing to worry about. After humiliation, you see, there will be the breaking of my silence, and the world will see my manifestation and my glorification. And that is wonderful. And this will be worldwide. This is because this time, this advent is such that this manifestation will be not in a small group, or it will be worldwide and in much lesser time than in the past. And glorification, you should be present at the time, and so forth. We used to keep quiet. What can we say? We used to hear about His glorification. We used to feel happy about it. We used to hear and witness His being let down by the trust He has reposed in all His lovers, when these very lovers would want to go and visit saints or perfect masters, or go to some yogis and so forth. Time and again, in His great act of compassion, He would say, well, I have given my warnings, but they may not have heard it. Some are new ones. Again issue the warning. So He'll dictate the different occasions. Many warnings have been given. Reminders to the warnings have been given. And last warning is given in 1968. I don't know whether you all have read those things that have been printed in the books. They are all there. And most of them, I know, that they were not sent out to the Western world, because that was just a nice cloistered group of Baba lovers there, unadulterated by any thoughts of any saints or yogis or perfect masters or anything at that time. Then in later years, all this was infiltration started, you see, and yogis and swamis and this and that and bhagwans, and they all started going to the West. So naturally Baba had to contact the group heads in the West and tell them also about the warnings. So the last warnings may have gone to the West. But what happened was that one good day in the last years, I forget now, most probably it must have been 1967 or so, while we were sitting out there, he all of a sudden said about his breaking of his silence and all that. That figure he gave, which you all know, I don't want to, the delay in breaking of his silence. You all have heard that? Joe, you heard, you know, the other day. Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about? Oh, so the thing is that at that time, he said that he'll break his silence. So often he used to say that. And so often many circulars have been sent out. We all know that. And he passed away. Now we know that he passed away, and we think that he has not broken his silence. You know that? We know that. And he said that he would break his silence, and the world will hear it with these gross ears, the sound of it. You know, you all have read that, no? And we haven't heard anything about it. So what is it? What has happened to it? He has gone back on his word. What has happened to it? So he had prepared. And he said that when he started saying that what I mean by breaking my silence, what is the delay in breaking my silence? All the time that you were feeling the delay in breaking my silence, and so forth. So he gave a good figure about the delay in breaking his silence. What will happen when he breaks his silence is, will you read out this white one?
When the word of my love breaks out of its silence and speaks in your hearts, telling you who I really am, you will know that this is the real word you have always been longing to hear.
That is his breaking of the silence. That's what he said. So we were wondering as to breaking his silence means conversing with us, telling us about Godhood and this and that, and as we presume that it is like that. That's how we presumed. But the breaking of the silence is the word, the love that will spring forth out of our hearts, you see. But what is the delay in it? The delay, then he explained to us the delay in the breaking of the silence. And the figure that he gave at that time was this, that I am like a warrior on a battlefield, a great hero, and I have fought a great battle. And I am sorely wounded, but I know I have won. I am the victorious one. But I am sorely wounded, and I am about to fall and collapse dead. While I am collapsing, being a great hero, I am mindful of a nest of ants that are there on the earth. So I am trying to swear my body while falling from this position, which is supposed to fall on the nest, to just a little away from it. And that is the delay. That much is only the delay when I will break my silence, you see, in the hearts of many, yearning heart, you see. So, we thought that, the breaking of his silence would be, that is the delay. We understand the figure. Do you all understand the figure? So what we could gather at the time is that he is giving us so great an opportunity to these ants, means to us, still giving us more time to put into tune our hearts with him. He's giving us time before something is to happen, you see. That we could follow, this much. Otherwise, when he falls and the ants are crushed. So that is finished, that's gone, the opportunity is lost for them. So he's giving some time, and that time, according to the ancient one's time calendar, whatever it is just that moment when he's trying to avoid the nest and fall on the other side, a few inches away from that. And that time means some time, it's some time. So we could follow that. And then, that same occasion, he gave us a figure. And then, that is the breaking of my silence. But before breaking my silence, he says, there must be the humiliation. I have told you that first there will be the humiliation, then breaking of my silence, and then there will be my manifestation and glorification. But breaking of my silence, and then manifestation, glorification will be just running parallel to that. Very soon it will be. In no time it will be like that. You may call it will be simultaneous, manifestation and glorification, after the breaking of my silence. But the humiliation has to take place, and I am waiting for it. Without that, nothing can be done. I must be humiliated. We were wondering as to what is that humiliation will be. How will he be humiliated? He is getting old now, what will they do? And then he will say that, look, mind you, if I am put in the prison, I haven't told you all these things yet. See, if I am put in, he's telling me at the time, looking at me and says, even if I am taken away by the authorities and I am put behind the bars, don't leave me at the time. You have to follow, you have to be with me. But I said, but suppose if they don't allow me to get inside the cell because I am not the accused, what will happen? He says, never mind, you try your best to be as close to me at the time. And if they don't allow you there, sit outside the jail main gate, he told me. I said, all right. But all this was symbolic. I don't know what it means. I still don't know what it is. But I'm trying to give you all what I have heard from him. So I said, all right. But I didn't know what he meant by it. What is it? Where? How is he going to be put into jail? What will happen? Where is it? Nobody, Mandali were there also. Those who must have been there, they must have heard all these things. So, well, it was just a dilemma, we didn't know. But then he said, I am waiting for the humiliation. So I said, but when will that humiliation be? How long is it to be? But he says, do you know what type of humiliation it is? I said, no, Baba. So then he gave us this meeting is to just reveal to you all, as far as I can recollect, what I had heard at that moment, you see, about his humiliation. And what you make out of it, please help me to clarify it. So what he said at that time was, the figure he gave was, said, by the time the stage of humiliation reaches, I am very well known. I am very well known as the one who calls himself the Ancient One, the one who is going to break his silence and bring about the changes in the world, heralding new era. I am the one who is very well known. So now I am one day finding myself raised on a high pedestal, you see, a big stage is there, and you people are all around me, as usual. He is giving a figure, mind you. And what happens, there's a mass of humanity around. And then I say the same thing, very soon I'm going to break my silence. As usual, we used to hear all these things. So he repeats the same scene, you see, of the multitude. But this is a vast gathering, where the whole world is, say, almost there. Because I am very well known in the world now. Then what happens is that while I am giving my message and saying that very soon I am going to break my silence, somebody from the crowd gets up and says, we have been hearing for quite a long time that you are going to break your silence, but when are you going to break your silence? So Baba says that I'd answer the persons by saying, very soon. He says, yeah, very soon. We have been hearing that. You know what happens? So now this is the figure that he gave. So that man accuses me of being impotent. So he gives the figure. He says, yeah, we know a person who is impotent always brags that he's manly. He is manly, he is that, and he has done this, he has got 13 children or 20 children and this and that. Because he's impotent, he goes on trying to pose himself as manly, you see. So that is your case. So I try at the time to break my silence, and I try to break it, but I fail at that time. I could not break it. And they know that I am trying to break my silence, but I fail. I could not break it. And there's a huge uproar in the crowd there, you see, because they have seen that he is an impostor, that omnipotent, who called himself the omnipotent, is absolutely impotent. That's what the figure he told. And I'm repeating the words that he gestured, you see. At that time he was not using the board. That omnipotent has been proved in the eyes of the world as impotent. Well, the crowd just foo-foos, spits upon, does all sorts of things, you see. They say, it's no good following him, we have been fools, this, that, and all that, and everything. There's dispersal all over. That is my humiliation, he says. That is my humiliation. And at that time, to crown the glory of humiliation, Baba says, there will come a must-like person. Must, you know, must. God intoxicated like person. There will come a must-like person who will come there and climb on the stage there and give me a tight slap. Says, you did that. And that is the culmination of my humiliation. That's the culmination of my humiliation. And people just disperse and they just leave. But very soon there will be the manifestations and a breaking of my silence and manifestation and glorification. So what happens is that impotent person in me, as they had said that, Now it has become potent. You see, that impotent person has become potent now. And that potent person not only is potent, but is veritably the omnipotent. So what happens very soon is that there is the breaking of his silence. Heart after heart will hear me, breaking my silence in their hearts. And what happens is not that, but the manifestation is that. And they will recognize me as the same ancient one, and then they will realize that what a humiliation situation we had created for him. That is my manifestation. But the glorification will be there simultaneously. Not only will they forget that I am impotent, but they will not only realize that I am potent, but at the same time they will come to know, they will experience that it has begotten many lions, children, who will just go around spreading my message. That's what he said. And then they will know, the world will know that not only I am potent, but I am omnipotent. So then what happens is, that comes to my mind, that all that is there. He has said this, then who is going to give that slap? Who is going to humiliate him to a degree where he is ridiculed in the crowd there? Who are these people who are there, who are following him naturally, who have come there, who have the semblance of belief in him, faith in him? That's why they are assembled there, you see. There are people who don't believe him also are there. And there is a large crowd of believers is there, and so forth. So there is the dispersal of all these things. So I am telling you, warning you, Baba has warned you all, but he has warned us in addition to all these things. And it is befitting that I should also warn you all, that is the time when we have to hold on to his Daman with both hands. That's what he said to us. Yeah. So remember, all these things that are the puny things, you see, they have no meaning in this. They are there, but these are the little beginnings that you find here, there, and all these, so many avatars are rising up there, and so many saints coming up, and so many people wanting to go here and wanting to go there, and changing seats and changing centers and changing groups, have no meaning whatsoever. Where there is that great humiliation to take place, lest we may not be involved in being the cause of humiliation. So we have to be very wary about that. That's where Baba always tells us, all that I want you is to just hold on to my Daman with both hands till the end. With both hands. If you can't hold it with one hand, have a firm grip with both hands. Will stick to me, hang upon me, whatever it be. But in the end, you will have won the gamble. Yeah. That's what I wanted to tell you all. I remember that. And we were discussing it.
The next talk was given on March 11th, 1980.
This I came across while reading something, and it throws light on what Baba wants us to do. So what I read once, some nights ago, I'll repeat here. Some perfect master is advising his disciples, and he says to them, better for thee to see a single blemish in thyself than to crave to behold 100 lights from the unseen. This again refreshed my memory. The time and again Baba warned us not to get ourselves enmeshed, entangled, involved in trying to see lights, have experiences of dazzling colors, or some other experiences of the path, because they are in the domain of illusion. They won't help us. They might give us a feeling of great elation, but that is not what is wanted. What happens is, when one has such experiences, one gets entangled in it, one gets stuck in it, as Baba would call. We have to just get out of it all. So once in 1966, Baba also said this to us: shun those masters who are like multicolored electric lights, that flash on and off, brightening the dark sky of your world and leaving you in darkness again. Because at the time when Baba gave us this warning, that there were many masters who had cropped up, who enticed people with their techniques of having sights of scintillating lights and brightness and brilliance and colors and all that. And Baba always used to tell us not to give any significance to these things. You can see lights, you can see colors if you are bashed on your head, or a hammer falls on your head, or something happens to your forehead, you see colors. It has no consequence, no meaning. The only thing that will help, this will help, is that you will be involved in it, you will get entangled in it, you'd want to have more and more of such experiences. And you won't progress further towards me. So he wanted us not to pay heed to these things. Time and again he issued warnings to beware of such pseudo-masters who call themselves perfect masters or even avatars of the age, and wanted us to keep away from them. Howsoever enticing are their words and their assurances may be, we shouldn't be led into their trap. That's what Baba would call us. Call upon us to beware. And then once he issued this warning, and it is termed as the last warning to those who love him, obey him, and all who would want to do so. And this was issued through Adi K. Irani in July 1968. Baba wants all his lovers to know that this is a very critical period of the Avataric age, and all his lovers must strive to their utmost to hold his Daman very firmly so that it does not slip out of their hands under any circumstances. It is very important for all his lovers, especially in this critical period, not to succumb to lust. Temptations are and will be great, but your love for him should be greater. Remember him wholeheartedly and rise swiftly from where you have fallen to march ahead in his love and service. It is equally important at this critical period of the Avataric age to beware at all times of persons who lead others into believing that they are saintly and pious and profess to possess supernatural powers. However pious such persons appear to be, a Baba lover must never mix such piety with the divinity of the avatar. A true Baba lover must remember the repeated warning given to all Baba lovers time and again to stay away from persons who feel and assert that they are masters and saints and possess powers to help human beings. His lovers and workers should never get involved with such persons and affairs, much less with perverted helpers of humanity, who have no reverence or regard for the perfect masters and the avatar of the age. Beware of them who exploit spirituality to gain their selfish ends and dupe others in the name of Sadgurus and the avatar. His lovers and workers should not get intimately involved with the family affairs of one another, and they should not be emotionally upset by the personal affairs concerning any of their families. They should not let any personal affairs vitiate their relationships with one another or affect their efforts in the work they do for the cause of truth. He wants his lovers and workers who are spreading his message of love to others to share his love among themselves and to uphold the spirit of harmony and understanding in his name. He wants them to be less aggressive towards others and less tolerant towards themselves. And above all, he wants them to love him wholeheartedly, for he is the Ancient One who loves them more than they can ever love themselves. So this is what Meher Baba wanted us, his lovers, to know.